Lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. Get this. The former champion haunted by Anthony Joshua's loss, stating that I have to fight him again. Over the years, different boxers have responded differently to taking their first defeat in the ring. For some, it was a lesson learned and a springboard to go on to bigger and better things. For others, it can be hard to come back from coming off of the second best. In the case of Anthony Joshua's shock upset loss to Andy Ruiz in 2019, the Brit came back much better in the second fight. He was knocked down several times in the first encounter and caught with plenty of shots in Madison Square Garden. But in the rematch later that year, out in Saudi Arabia, he boxed at range, stayed safe, and secured a shutout on the scorecard. Since then, there has lost two more very different technical fitters across 12 rounds to Alexander Usyk, and rebuilt once more with a string of 4 wins that have led him to fight Daniel Dubois, in September, not August. Meanwhile, Ruiz has fought only a couple times against Chris Arreola and Luis Ortiz, both of which he won by unanimous decision. And speaking to the Real Digital, he was asked what keeps him motivated, and he revealed that it's Joshua. He said, you know what keeps me motivated? When Anthony Joshua beats me in Saudi Arabia, when he beat me in Saudi Arabia, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't training right. It kind of hurt and haunts me a bit. So now I got to be prepared for every single fighter. It still haunts me. That's why I want a trilogy with him. So for me to even talk about that, gotta get back in the groove. Those are the words of former champion Andy Ruiz, and let me counterpunch. I can understand what Andy's saying. Like, look, Andy, I think if this man could do an interview on a treadmill, he would. I mean, this guy is always at the gym. The guy has these thick, solid, concisive legs. I'm like, dude, keep going. If your stomach and back looked anything like your legs, bro, you would be in hellified shape. Stomach, back, and chest. You know what I mean? Arms, he's pretty solid with his arms, but this dude's always training. And that may be a reason why he felt he needed to lose weight. But as my last interview with Tony Bellew warning Alexander Usyk, Andy Ruiz fought Chris Arreola and found out that, hey, I can't take punches the same after losing all this damn weight. You know what I mean? And I think what it is, it's not the fact that he lost the weight and he's just weak. It's the fact that he lost the weight and he ain't had time at that weight to gain any type of structure, any type of foundation, of campaigning at that weight. You have to know how that feels. You have to know how your body reacts at that weight. Your body has to come adaptive to a certain weight. That's your body anyway. Any drastic change with your body can be devastating. You know what I mean? So I think that's what he learned. However, the shit he pulled in Saudi Arabia was a lesson. Not that you always got to stay ready. No, you haven't fought enough to talk about staying ready. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about 2019 back in December. Back in December, you look at Andy Ruiz, and Andy was a guy that this man got to a place that he never been. and it ruined him. He wasn't ready for it. And I think he just pissed over the opportunity. He did exactly what probably any regular person would have done that did what he did. You know what I mean? He got an opportunity of a lifetime. And he did a carpe diem of that opportunity. And because he did that, that got him twice as much more money. And him knowing, hey, I'm a millionaire now, okay? I'm a millionaire now, and you're going to tell me that I'm going to make twice as much money as I've made now. There would be, see, for Andy, that was it for him. That was absolutely it for Andy Ruiz. I'm a millionaire because I'm fighting Anthony Joshua. Oh, shit, I just beat Anthony Joshua. Oh, shit, I'm the world champion. I'm the first Mexican champion of the world, heavyweight champion of the world. And now you're telling me that I'm going to get twice as much. I got 7 million. Now I'm going to make 13 million. That was probably the most demotivating thing that could have ever happened to Andy Ruiz. Ever. Because the idea of knowing that all I got to do is show up. I don't have to show out no more. I did that in June. What I did in June was enough to deal with for the rest of my life. Now, if he was smart, he probably would have done that. Now, I don't know how smart Andy was. I can tell you this. Since then, Andy, we found out he's had women problems. His woman has tried to blackmail him on Instagram. You know what I mean? Put his career in jeopardy. You know, so she's probably going to go ask him for a lot of money. Said he did a lot of stuff, that Deontay Wilder shit before Deontay Wilder. You know, it just wasn't big as Wilder because, Andy wasn't a bigger champion than Wilder. So when Telly Swift came out with her stuff, Andy Ruiz's girl was trying to blackmail him on social media. It just didn't hit as hard because Andy Ruiz, of course, was Andy Ruiz and Wilder, of course, was Wilder. But the same stuff happened to Andy Ruiz, and he probably had to fork over a bunch of money that we probably don't know. Maybe he probably didn't have no more. Okay, because that has been in 2019. 2019, this brother probably he probably cleared about $7 million. So from 2020, you had COVID. He didn't do anything. 2021, he fought Chris Arreola and got dropped in the second round. Okay. And then he didn't do anything for the rest of that year. 2022, he waits to the very end, maybe October, to fight Luis Ortiz after ducking him a couple years before. So, so he got that fight, and that was like $1 million. And so I don't know how much he made for the Chris Arreola fight, but I know he made $1 million against Luis Ortiz, and I think Luis Ortiz made about $500,000. Okay, and then that goes 2023. He plays with his stablemate Wilder. Well, Wilder didn't care because Wilder knew eventually he was going to get another shot at some cash, and then he did. He went to Days of Reckoning, got beat up. But where does that leave Andy? It didn't. It left him hanging. Andy ain't fought since 2022. So this is July of 2024. And this man wants to talk about always be ready. To always be ready, Andy, is to stay fighting. That's what that's about. Now he finally gets an opportunity to fight Jarrell Miller, which here's the weird thing about that. Jarrell Miller may be in better shape than Andy. Andy's going to be in gym shape, but he might not be where he needs to be to beat Jarrell. And me personally, I hope he doesn't. Because the way Andy fights, who the hell has time to promote Andy and he never fights? Okay, and he's a good guy, I guess. But for one, he's kind of bland, and for two, he doesn't fight enough. I think he's done what he's supposed to do. So his whole pinnacle is still getting back to an AJ fight. You've had 2 fights with AJ. AJ doesn't want to fight you anymore. The only way you fight AJ is you convince AJ and whoop everybody else's ass around AJ to convince AJ to fight you. And that means you got to whoop Dubois probably. You have to fight Dillian White, which he turned down as well. He has to fight. There's no telling, bro. There's no telling. Because, see, let's say AJ beats Dubois. Then he fights the winner out of Usyk and Tyson Fury. You know, I don't really have an answer for Andy, to be honest. All I can tell you about Andy Ruiz is Andy Ruiz, to stay ready for one fight, I think is obtuse. I think for him to fight, to keep fighting is the main thing he needs to do. That's how he can convince himself that he is ready, by getting ready for each and every fight. So we'll see what he does August 3rd, because I don't want to well on Andy too bad. But him saying that haunted me, you know, I don't think it haunted him at all. I think that as the result of him losing, he found out he didn't get those opportunities that he was once upon a time blessed with, okay, back in 1 year of 2019, and all the other fights, he thought he was too damn good for him. But that's my counterpunch, and you guys tell me what you think of Andy Ruiz stating that he wants another trinity with Anthony Joshua. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!